welcome to the 6th. I know it doesn't really sound like it because we got 4 episodes in the chute that aren't out yet, but it is the 6th episode of Nocturnal here at the New American Late Night Network. This is going to be a deep dive, a swirling journey through the galaxies, the cosmos, your thoughts, your most inner thoughts, your questions about the universe. What is reality? What are dreams? What is our purpose here? AI, what is it? Is it taking over the world? And I bring these things up. AI, both these men on my left and right are AI legends and wizards, Harry Potter level. Justin, let me introduce you first, right after I say I'm Ollie Olsen. I'm your host, but Justin, tell us just briefly, your AI, were you the CEO of Google? What was it again?
You love messing that up.
Yeah, he's not.
I am deep in the AI world. I was a product lead for AI innovation at Google, and like a lot of other folks, I have been caught completely by the whole AI craze and building with it, using it, and very obsessed with it these days.
Yeah. And then, of course, Sully 4Q, not only is a well-known and, I don't have to say rising, even though you're pretty risen.
Yeah.
Artist, business owner, AI developer, software engineer, a few other things.
Yeah, man. You pretty much covered it. We'll keep the other things in the background, man, but extremely happy to be here, man. And, I'm excited about what we got to cover today, man.
We need to start, though, with what we were talking about earlier with this IPO coming out with SpaceX. It's going to be a big deal. I know a good family friend who is a CEO of a public company, and I heard this just in a conversation recently. He said he's not actually legally allowed to buy shares from, because he's a CEO. And that was very interesting to me. But it's such a raging topic, and I bring that up because it's impacting people all the way from CEOs down to regular Joes like myself, who, everyone's talking about SpaceX IPO. So, your thoughts, though, boys. Sully, go ahead.
Yeah, so, they're not just focused on, launching rockets. They're also launching one of the biggest IPOs, what is it, $1.7 trillion?
$1.7 trillion, yeah. That's the rumor.
I think it's huge, man. I think that it may be a balloon effect because I don't necessarily see how you can go up from there. You know what I'm saying? Anytime soon. So
how can you go up? Nice rocket reference. Nice.
I'm very interested to see how it goes from 1.7, actually ends up going higher than that.
Yeah.
Within the next 5 to, 7 years,
It's interesting. IPOs, they had a lull for, a long time, a handful of years. There weren't super exciting IPOs. That used to be a big thing in the finance world and the stock world. And 2026 so far is the year of the IPO, and it's getting kicked off with SpaceX, which we were just talking about. But there's rumored for more ones to come, which I'm sure we'll get into this episode. But Anthropic, OpenAI, so some of the hottest private companies in the last decade or two are going IPO this year. The SpaceX one is super interesting.
So Justin, do you feel like these IPOs are currently overvalued?
Here's the X factor in all this. We're talking about Elon Musk right now.
Yeah.
So that's what makes this so tricky, because if you stripped away, if you did a blind taste test with this IPO and you showed people just the balance sheet, the revenue numbers, their cost.
Sure.
I think the revenue was I want to say it's $18 billion or something.
Right.
And if you just show them that, people will be like, what are you talking? What are you selling me? This is insane. There's no way it's a 1.7 trillion valuation. But if you think about SpaceX, man, it is at the cutting edge of modern and what the future is going to look like. It's space technology, and you have Elon Musk at the helm. So there's an argument that the valuation is legitimate, but I do agree with you, Sully. I think that I'm not buying the IPO.
You're not.
I'm not buying it.
But correct me if I'm wrong. You have been a big Tesla buyer since the beginning, right?
I'm a huge Tesla fan,
okay.
Tesla stock owner,
right?
Huge believer.
So you're thinking there's going to be some type of quick drop off, a bubble of some kind?
It's impossible to time this stuff, but my prediction is that the IPO will pop, maybe for a day or two, a week or two, like it'll go up with excitement, but at some point it's going to come crashing down to reality.
Then you're going to buy, right?
And I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
And then I think if you can time that relatively well,
He knows
you
what he's
buy
doing.
and then you hold on to that for 10 years and you are set, because it will be one of the most important companies in the future.
I think that's a very intelligent move. Sully,
I agree with Justin. I think that you have to find a sweet spot. I'm definitely going to hold off and wait to try to get in on the sweet spot, because one thing I do, anything at this point Elon Musk touches pretty well going to go pretty far. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing.
it's like point to a loser he's had in the past 10 years.
You
Point to
can't,
one, right?
you really
Exactly.
can't. You know what I mean? So I look at that, but even with that being said, I do think it's still relatively how 1.7 seems like maybe what it will be worth in 10 years from now.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
We got to remember, the first company to cross a 1 trillion valuation, I want to say it was Microsoft or Google or something like that. And it happened relatively recently, like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, really?
And it was a huge deal when a company crossed a $1 trillion market cap. Now, Nvidia, I think, is the biggest company in the world. I think it's 5 trillion. But nonetheless, they're IPOing at 1.7 trillion, which is almost 2x times bigger than the largest company in the world, 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Nvidia? That took me off guard.
Yeah,
I know they're a huge company, but
I mean, they are literally powering the entire AI revolution.
oh, that's why.
Yeah.
And think of it like this.
These guys are smarter.
Let's go on this just for a second, because I find this really interesting. When the internet was booming in 99 and whatever, the early 2000s, imagine if there was one company who produced the entire infrastructure of the internet. The internet doesn't work that way. It's networked, it's diversified across the entire world. But that's what Nvidia is for the AI world. It's one company that dominates supplying the infrastructure that AI runs on. So if there was a company like that for the internet, it would be worth a ton.
Yeah. I think the big thing here is over $1 trillion is a lot of money. But it's important to also keep in mind that Elon Musk, on the topic, said this industry does not even technically exist yet, but one of his companies, the androids, the Optimus robot, he has said multiple times on record over the past 2 years that he believes that industry will be the biggest ever in human history. Right? You've heard this.
That's true, but that's a Tesla product.
Well, sure, but it's still an Elon Musk thing. This is why I bring it up, and we're talking about $1.7 trillion IPOs and the biggest companies in the world. And if he's still saying the biggest thing ever is right around the corner and yet to come.
Yeah. Well, we should talk about, this brings up the whole idea of products for SpaceX. Like, we would fail if we didn't mention their biggest product is Starlink. And it is, it's slowly explained Starlink.
I got sidetracked because I was just thinking about, one of Elon Musk's goal, with SpaceX, which is, cross-planetary population.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's their mission.
And then as I started to think about it, 1.7 might still be a steal 10 years from now. Like, as I really started to think about it, like, well, okay, so if we really start populating, Mars and other places as well, and SpaceX is responsible for that, and the moon becomes a vacation.
Yeah.
At that point, is 1.7 a steal?
Probably.
Sure.
In other words, if SpaceX achieves their mission, then that valuation is a steal. But also, that mission is about as grandiose and as ambitious as you can possibly get. I mean, that mission is probably a century-long mission. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, that is their mission. But their big product is Starlink. It's a network of satellites that go into orbit of Earth. And essentially, you can get internet connection anywhere on Earth. So this is a big deal for rural communities where it used to be hard to get internet. This is what we're just starting to see now. It's a huge deal for air travel. Anyone that's been on a plane in the past decade and has tried to use their Wi-Fi, so bad. And if you get onto a plane, which I've done recently.
You were on a plane recently?
That has Starlink. Internet, and you get on it, and it is just like you're at home. It is blazing fast. You can play high-speed gaming, you can stream, you can do whatever. So there's lots of applications for this. And then there's always the zeitgeist crawling at Elon Musk, begging to do a Starlink or X phone.
I'd buy it.
A lot of people would buy that. And then that phone is connected through Starlink, so you get connection anywhere on planet Earth, and that would be cool too. So there's lots of applications for it.
I just don't think at this point Elon Musk is going to fail at any business. Like, it could be a competitor with McDonald's. He could be making office furniture. Like, I just feel like he is on a tear. He has that creative X factor. I know that I'm derailing slightly, but
that's a good point, though, Ollie. Like, failure is not on the board right now for SpaceX.
No,
the question
it's
is,
not.
is it worth 1.7 trillion? That's the question.
Right.
It's not like, is this company going to be around or is it going to fall flat like a lot of other IPOs and companies?
But Elon Musk did not decide what that price is going to be.
So, question, with Neuralink, which one of his companies is responsible for that product?
Neuralink is a separate company, separate product.
Okay.
That he owns. A lot of these, there's been lots of rumors of him, of people suggesting that they combine a lot of these companies like Tesla and SpaceX together.
Yeah.
They already did that with XAI. It got combined into SpaceX because there's lots of like synergy and lots of ways these play off each other.
Okay, so Grok
yes,
is also a part of SpaceX?
it's part of SpaceX now
Okay, yeah. So
because it's
the
part
valuation
of XAI.
is making more and more sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's an AI business,
Because-
right? One of the best.
So yeah, it's one of the best. And Anthropic, what was their IPO?
It's around 1 trillion is what the latest rumor is.
Right.
So yeah, so you got SpaceX and XAI.
XAI is competitive with
Yeah.
Claude and Anthropic. So
I wouldn't fault anyone for buying the IPO of SpaceX,
Right.
as long as they're holding and if anyone that's bought an Elon Musk company before,
Yeah.
they know the volatility of those stocks. Like
Yeah.
Tesla,
100%.
this is like being on a roller coaster.
because he's gonna say whatever he
He's
wants
gonna
to
say-
say.
which is a beautiful thing, but it is not for the weak stomach. Like when you've got a lot of money on the line, like you can see that money cut in half one day. You can see it go up 5x, 10x. Like you got to be a bag holder if you're buying this company.
Well, and again, going back, Justin, you have been with him buying their stock for quite a while, Tesla stock specifically,
Yes, yeah.
and you are a winner in that game. Not to disclose too much, but he's been a winner in that game. And so when he said earlier, yeah, maybe don't buy the IPO out the gate, wait for that big dip, buy it low, and then hang on, right?
Yeah, but this is not financial advice,
Yeah,
to be clear.
yeah.
But that's
Not
what
officially.
I'm going to do. In fact, my mom texted me today. She comes to me for
Shout
this
out
stuff.
Justin's
Shout
mom.
out to my mom. My mom's amazing. She said, should I buy the SpaceX IPO? And I said the exact same thing that I told our viewers tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not buying it. Hold off. Wait for it to dip. Then buy and
We're gonna cut to a view of the parking lot so you guys can see Justin's car. If you want to,
stop it.
just kidding. Sully.
Yeah. I feel similar to Justin on this. I feel like although, as we talked about it more, the valuation may be justified.
Yeah.
I do believe it's going to dip at some point, and that's the best, place to get
Yeah.
in. And then you want to hold.
I mean, that's
Once you get in at a good point, you want to hold, because I do believe it's going to be a key component of our future for sure.
Well, let's transition here. You mentioned earlier backstage some other IPOs AI related, and this is also a huge topic. And you guys are a little bit more caught up to speed with this stuff than I am, so I'm going to have to hand this off to Sully. Go ahead.
Anthropic is also going public. I think this is huge because they made, a big play in, taking a stance, and it kind of hurt, OpenAI. And now they're first to going public as well. So I think this is actually a great move for them because they not only got a lot of people converted over to using Claude over ChatGPT, and now they're one of the first AI companies going public, along with XAI, which is included in SpaceX. But it makes them a huge player in what's to come. I'm very eager and interested to see what OpenAI's moves are to stay competitive and make sure that they're still one of the big players in this near future.
Yeah.
What are your thought process, Justin?
I mean, it's been crazy. Like OpenAI had this market. They launched ChatGPT. They set this market off, and everyone was blown away with ChatGPT. It was smoking everyone on their technology and their products, Google included, Anthropic included. Anthropic was just a little name. And Anthropic has just had this incredible rise over the past few years.
Man.
They were just like kind of this like little company on the auxiliary that you hear about, and then Claude came out, started doing well. I read some number the other day. They were valued at it was like 250 million like a few years ago. Something very small compared to what they're at now.
Yeah.
And they've had an incredible run. They've surpassed ChatGPT in the zeitgeist in terms of popularity and reputation. And just recently, they passed OpenAI, I believe, on revenue forecast for the year, or on revenue, which is insane. So in true fashion of this race that's been going on, they're kind of racing towards an IPO. Who's going to go first, OpenAI or Anthropic? Anthropic recently filed for the paperwork, and it looks like they're going to go first. And I will make the bold statement right here. Again, this is not financial advice. I just said I was not going to buy SpaceX right out the gate. I will bet the house on Anthropic when that comes out. If I can buy Anthropic at a 1 trillion valuation, I'm loading up on that stock.
So big question for you then, Justin. With XAI being included in the SpaceX valuation and them being at 1.7 trillion, why would you be willing to bet the house on Anthropic versus SpaceX?
I think XAI is just behind the punch, and they have been. I think it's a respectable and reputable AI company. I think they've already lost to OpenAI and Anthropic, and that could change. But if you look at Polymarket and Kalshi's prediction markets, they have predictions on who's going to be the top AI technology by the end of the year.
What are they saying?
It's like 69 or 70% Anthropic right now. And I want to say Google's second, like 20%, OpenAI is like 9, 10, 11, 12%, and then XAI is way down. So I really do think, in most industries, there's a Pepsi versus Coke battle.
Right.
You have an iPhone versus an Android.
No RC Cola?
No RC Cola.
Right.
I mean, it exists, but it's not a big player. And I think we're probably going to have a two-headed monster in this world too. And I think it'll be OpenAI versus Anthropic. I think that's how it's playing out. So that was my answer on, I use XAI. I respect it. I think it's a really nice technology and sub-business to have in SpaceX, but I'm buying Anthropic all day.
I'm very interested to see what OpenAI ends up doing, because right now is a pivotal moment, because a lot of us big tech guys, we are subscribed to both. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have, a Claude subscription, and we also have to have ChatGPT, etc. 2-3 years from now, it is hard to say that Anthropic would be the clear winner.
It is hard to say,
as we keep seeing these updates, because, you might be like, all right, Claude is way better for coding specifically. And then 2 months later, Codex gets an upgrade, and then you start to see some huge improvements over here, and you're like,
it's been a game. It's been a game of whack-a-mole, for all this technology, which makes it really exciting if you're in the audience and you're in the AI world watching this. But it's just a continual game of Google releases a product, it tops the charts. Anthropic comes out with theirs, it tops it, then OpenAI, and it just keeps going over and over, which is a beautiful thing for the end customer like us, because all these companies are competing like a major league sport.
Yeah.
And it's just going to drive so much innovation.
Which company is more likely to be a big player in immortality?
Okay. Well,
that's a good question.
Justin owns a startup that has.
This is true.
Justin owns an AI startup related to this. You don't have to talk about it right now.
No, we can, but this is true. I'm very into that. It's a great question, Sully. AI is, I don't even know where to take this, but AI will certainly be fundamental towards this budding immortality movement that's happening. AI is going to be like the core technology for it. I've heard that OpenAI's made some interesting investments on the fringe of this. So, but I don't know. It's a really good question.
It's hard not to go SpaceX in this direction, man.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, man.
Tell me why.
Well, I think it may be a priority. I think, Elon Musk is that type of thinker. I think it's something that he may be passionate about. Same as you can tell he's extremely passionate about, cross-planetary population. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. He wants to preserve the species.
Yeah. So with somebody that thinks that way, with that being a top priority, it is such a, like you said, like a grand goal,
Yeah.
someone would have to be extremely passionate and in position to do it as well. Where other companies, they have all these huge companies have so many opinions, things of that nature, so on and so forth. But, Elon Musk has established himself as exactly who he is. So you kind of know what you're getting into when you go into business with him.
I think if Elon enters this race,
Yeah.
game over. And I'll push all my chips in on that.
Yeah.
And we talked about earlier about Ollie brought up Optimus, the robots, and how that's part of Tesla. And then I mentioned to you that there's rumors and lots of support for merging SpaceX with Tesla.
Yeah.
And if that happens and it's one company, you have the space technology, you have these robot technology, which is essentially Tesla, cars, robots, and then you have XAI, the AI. And if they get into immortality and all that, that would be crazy.
I feel like he should keep. I feel like he should still keep those two companies separate.
Why do you say that?
It seemed like it would behoove him to do so, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like with them being in two different sectors, you got these products over here, you got this over here. You can't have, this group of people that's in leadership over here messing around with the products on this side and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think keeping it separate is huge because it's two different thought processes, and I don't know. That's just my thought process. But I think, whoever has I wonder how big patents are going to be here in the future as well. But, right now Tesla kind of has a stronghold on autonomous driving. You know what I'm saying?
They own that.
So
they would dominate that space.
So I would imagine if they're able to create, the same type of thing with the robotics, then you will be looking at them having zero competition.
Sure.
That's the whole premise. That's what Musk has said. He said that the cars right now essentially are robots.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just big pieces of machine.
Yeah.
They have cameras and they have this AI brain that drives them around. And he's saying they're using the same infrastructure for Optimus, the robot.
Yeah.
When it comes to Anthropic and OpenAI with their businesses and their IPOs, these companies are generating a ton of revenue right now, and the revenue is growing at insane, unprecedented paces.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think there's any question about their business models.
Right.
Like, they are printing money right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would feel like, let's just use some common sense here. If you think 5 years into the future, 10 years in the future, who are the biggest company? It's going to be some of these AI companies.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's going to be the next Google and the next Meta.
100,000%.
But question, do you think that Meta's slow progress in AI is going to affect them 10 years from now? Because it does seem like their progress is kind of really far behind in comparison to their competitors at this point.
They have all the money and the resources in the world.
Yeah.
And I saw this firsthand at Google too.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, working at Google was one of the privileges of my professional career.
Wow.
Had an incredible time working there.
Wow.
Incredible company to work for. They take such good care.
They're still paying you, aren't they?
But no, they're not. But you can when you're in there, you can kind of see how the sausage is made. And I think Meta runs into the same problem that Google does. They're these huge companies that have so much red tape, that are so risk averse, that their models end up having to go through all these reviews, all these lawyers, and their models end up getting handcuffed, put in straitjackets, neutered, sterilized, whatever you want to say, and you get this bland end product that takes a long time.
Sure.
And I think Meta has the same problem solely, and I don't think Anthropic and OpenAI have those problems. They take risks. They push out. They don't have a million lawyers looking at it.
They don't have
that
as much.
serves them well.
Yeah, they don't have as much to lose, I guess.
Exactly. They don't have as much
to
lose.
Do you guys feel though
It
this
depends. Perspective-wise, they may have more to lose than they realize, because losing the race is dangerous.
Yeah, but they're full send.
Yeah,
they're going for it, as they should. High risk, high reward, and like Google and Meta, they're not. Those big companies aren't.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. The big companies may have more at risk than they
Oh, I see,
realize.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They may be
Totally.
looking at it a little bit, wrong.
Totally.
Can I jump in here briefly though? My question though, like, don't you feel like this is the track record of Meta, i.e. Facebook? They have tried a lot of things. Once they became a unicorn, they tried a whole bunch of products, which in my opinion all failed miserably.
VR.
Right.
Most
Like,
notably VR
like
and AR.
they don't have a track record of success with this stuff. And I would have guessed, in my humble opinion, they're probably not going to be good at this either. But hey,
One thing I think that, SpaceX and, Tesla has going for them is they have a loud voice, where a lot of big companies, they have a million voices.
right.
Everybody's have an opinion on what direction they could go in. There's not really like a main visionary, creative
That's a really
voice
strong point.
that
That's a really strong
propels
point.
them forward. Because it's like, if you have a winning track record and you like, no, we're going to do this, people will tend
Yeah.
to listen. But if you don't have that strong creative voice where they have a winning track record, where they like, we're going to do this and then it fails, we're going to do this and then it fails.
Yeah.
That's
You
why
know?
you give the edge to Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like you always got to bet on that guy.
It's like
Yeah.
if someone is winning and all they've been doing is winning,
Yeah, man.
like
That's my
right?
motto, man. You win some, you win some.
if the horse has won, I don't know, 20 races in a row,
Yeah.
and you're at the 21st race, are you gonna be like, I'm gonna go with Zuckerberg's horse? And you're like, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
to put it literally, Musk has vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that vision is in the future.
Yeah.
And he can see things clear as day how technology is going to unfold.
We're on Musk's platform right now.
We're on Musk's platform right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
And we tried to get on
yeah,
We
Zuck's
tried to get on
platform. And he
Zuck's
wouldn't let us,
platform.
yeah.
and he wouldn't let us.
Hey, we
They
got to
put
be 60 days older with our
Yeah.
account, apparently.
red tape, no
Probably-
point
probably couldn't
intended.
say any swear words.
Yeah.
Yeah. There, you know.
I think it's like a lizard person thing. I don't
It was
know.
a lot
I
of
don't know
red
for sure.
tape, like you said.
Well, I like Zuck. I like his rebrand a lot. I think he's
These guys will get too smart and
I
sophisticated
say this
without me.
though. I am a fan of winners. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people that figure things out and build these big corporations. I'm a fan of that. Like I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I do lean more towards the winners. You know what I'm saying? Like the people
Chicken
that's,
dinner.
that's winning amongst the winners even more so. But like he said, I appreciate Zuck as well. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate, Jeff as well. You know what I'm saying?
man. Respect is the right word.
Yeah.
Respect. I can do respect.
Exactly.
I can do
It's
respect.
a lot of respect in that area to do that.
I can
And it's
respect
a lot
the
of pressure.
intelligence.
It's a lot of pressure that comes
the
with
business.
everything that
Yeah.
they're doing. It's a ton of pressure to win, a ton of pressure to not make any mistakes, a ton of pressure not to fail, a ton of pressure to take risk. But you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of catch-22s and everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
But-
Justin, let me real quick. I'm gonna hand it to you, Justin. Though, but I've always heard that, and this is the reason I am mandated to respect Mark Zuckerberg. Beyond, he's very smart. He built something massive. It's that I heard this at a young age. It's that building a business that size is not one smart decision. It's thousands consecutively.
Absolutely.
And for someone to pull off thousands of successful, smart, any one decision, one wrong move with a legal agreement, one wrong move with someone you hire to be an executive, you have to make so many accurate decisions consecutively to go from zero to unicorn.
And most notably, I remember when Facebook was rising, there were stories of Yahoo wanting to buy Facebook.
Yeah.
And they offered $1 billion or $2 billion.
Sure.
And Zuck turned it down. And I remember my young brain at the time couldn't comprehend it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He turned down $1 billion or $2 billion?
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense. And to the point that Ollie just made, that was an incredible decision because their market cap now is over $1 trillion, I think. So,
sure.
It's 1,000x.
10,000 failed things after that. Then you have like a satellite. When Google was like, we're going to start doing satellites, they tried and they failed.
Yeah, they all do a lot of the same stuff. But I think this brings up a good point that we haven't talked about tonight. The leadership at OpenAI and Anthropic. So at Anthropic, you have Dario, and at OpenAI, you have Sam Altman. And it's important to note that Dario started as a co-founder at OpenAI, and they had their differences. Apparently, there was some drama around safety and security, and Dario left his own AI company. So you have these two leaders right now, and that's a really important piece of these businesses as we've just talked about. So,
and that still comes back to Elon, because OpenAI is pretty much a branch off of Elon Musk as well.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's a whole other
wild
drama, but that case just got closed, so it is what it is now, and they're all moving forward with their own leaders. But I have another, I guess, contrarian or a hot take here. I like all these leaders.
Contrarian, hot word of the day.
I like Sam Altman, which is like the most unpopular thing to say in the technology world right now. And here's the thing: when these AI leaders, they talk about their businesses in the future, and everyone, all the masses, like, oh, these guys, they're just trying to fundraise right now. They're just trying to raise money, this and that. And I think that's ridiculous. I think these guys are telling us exactly what's happening.
Wait. Does Elon Musk have beef with Sam Altman?
Are you serious, Ollie?
This is rhetorical. And so, like, for you being such a big Elon guy, and I'm a big Elon guy, for you to be like, hey, you're supporting Sam Altman?
It's just hard for me to hate anyone. Like, I respect all these people, but the point that
Elon, I love you more.
I'm a huge Elon fan.
No, he hates you.
The point of this, though, is that, like, Dario, for example, I want to say a year and a half ago, they go on all these podcasts, and he said something along the lines of, software engineering is going to be like 80% automated in the next 9 months.
Sure.
And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so ridiculous. That's such nonsense. He's just trying to raise money. And what happened? Almost to a T, like 8 or 9 months later, these AI coding models came out and people were blown away. So I think that Sam and Dario are telling us exactly what they're seeing and exactly are sincere with their predictions. And as big as they are, they've turned out to be true so far. So that's my contrarian stance.
So I've never heard someone as intelligent and informed as yourself, Justin, be able to toe that line. And this is a big thing with Nocturnal. So I'm going to pass it here in a second. But like a big part of this show is people who disagree with each other or have different opinions, being able to talk about them. And I wanted to mention that because this is not a place to be divisive. This is a place to open your mind and just hear the sides of the story.
Well, all three of us are grown men, and we can all share our opinions with respect, and we wish most of the world
except
could do
me.
That.
But go ahead, Sue.
Well, I'm with Justin. I tend to walk in the gray area a lot of times. I can see someone's point of view, maybe not agree with everything that they're saying, but I can see the sense in what they're saying, and I have a lot of respect for that. So I might not agree with what they say per se, but I may see their perspective and why they think the way that they think, and have a ton of respect. So I tend to lean with Justin on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what this show is all about. I take strong stances on things, but these two men next to me are more mature and intelligent than myself, and they have opened my eyes to a lot of things. They've made me find the gray area of things, and that's really important. I think that's a big part of the show. Am I right?
1,000,000%. Yeah. I do take strong stances on certain things.
Sure.
But if there's a gray area to find, I tend to find it.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's been phenomenal thus far. We have at least a few more topics to run through here.
I say let's get through them, man. We got a lot of viewers. Let's go into the Neuralink, because that's something that I'm pretty excited about, and they've already installed into a few people.
Installed is a crazy word for that.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's crazy.
You have people with, disabilities, that, aren't even able to communicate, for instance. So, someone that has not been able to talk and communicate, and that's a tough, and then you have something like Neuralink that comes into play where now it can communicate for you. So essentially they install this into your brain. It's done by robotics, and now you're linked to the computers and things of that nature. And now it's able to essentially take the thoughts that you want to communicate to the people around you and communicate for you. You can move like a mouse, does on a computer, and select the application and draw. Some people who haven't, they may have been artists in the past and haven't been able to use their creative side of their mind for a while. Now they can do these things, but you have to look at what it actually is doing for people as well. You know what I'm saying? And does the good outweigh the bad? Justin, what are your take on that?
Man, I completely agree with that. Like, I don't know if this will be one of Musk's biggest businesses, but if they achieve their mission at Neuralink, that undoubtedly, in my opinion, will be their most important and most meaningful business. Man, people with health issues, like if you become paralyzed or something, every problem that we have in our lives right now are so insignificant to someone.
Yeah, irrelevant.
Exactly.
They would love to have our problems.
I'll give you a respectful gavel for that one.
And if Neuralink could solve something like that, that is priceless. It is absolutely priceless, and it is the most meaningful thing to ever happen to a human being that's lost their freedom to move.
Well, I mean, and him with the robotics stuff, what's coming next is not just, ideally fixing the neurons and stuff so you can have some motor skills or whatever, but then it's, if you lose a limb or whatever, it's the combination of, like the wounded veterans and stuff like that, being able to not only have the new arm, but be able to control it just like normal with, the installed software, right?
Essentially, yeah. And I mean, imagine it, helping someone walk, you know what I'm saying? And utilize their limbs again, like they, haven't been able to do for years. And imagine them being able to play catch with their son again. You know what I'm saying?
What a gift to humanity. This guy's out here trying to do good for humanity. And for Neuralink specifically, like the first patient, I think his name was Nolan. Really interesting dude, really cool dude. I highly recommend following him for all of our audience. He's on X. He's a great.
You guys to know that Elon Musk actually did just join the chat. I'm not kidding, he did.
Is that right? Cool. Yeah. But yeah, so like Nolan, he's been on Rogan, he's been on a few podcasts, and this guy has said that his life changed in an incredibly profound way. He went from being like deeply depressed to having a sense of purpose and meaning and freedom. He could play games, he could communicate on his computer, he could do all sorts of things, and it like gave him a renewed sense of life. And like,
hey, how can you hate on that?
How can you hate on that? And this is just the beginning. So all of these, like, this is all the beautiful component, these health components, but there's also a whole other side to Neuralink, like the sci-fi side, like augmenting humans. Being connected to the internet, almost a Matrix scene where you can download skills in your brain, like new languages or
kung fu.
Yeah.
And like, there's this whole other component of like being these superhumans, which is super fascinating and interesting. And there will be a subset of the population that will adopt that and be all aboard that. And there will be, the Luddites and a lot of folks who will be very against it.
I think, I think it's just like what we talked about before. Like, there's a lot of people that are against AI, but they will be first in line for the cure to cancer.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that's the best way to look at it. Like, everything comes with pros and cons. Everything is the yin and yang. But sometimes you have to, is the juice worth the squeeze, essentially? And when you're doing things like that for people and changing their lives, you see the people that actually are, going through this phase right now and actually have gotten it installed. They're talking about all the things they can do now that they never were able to do before.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So you can't discount that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's an important shout out for all the haters out there that are hating on Musk or the leaders or these AI technologies. Like, be careful. Be super careful. Because when these technologies or AI or these leaders create technologies that solve some of humans' biggest problems, these health issues, solving cancer, all that, I mean, these people are going to be first in line for that. Yeah. And it should come with an apology is what it should come with.
Hey, the other apology I want is the UFO stuff. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, so, I mean, that's just something I wanted to discuss. I got, really into it on, deep dive, went through the rabbit, whatever you call it, what I'm saying, when you just doing a deep dive into something, and it just gets me fascinated and excited about the future, man. It's just, it's very exciting.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's undoubtedly like one of the hottest topics in the world, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about the luxury robots, man.
Yeah.
I wonder what the tiers look like. You know, you got the regular ones, but what's like the top tier luxury robot?
Yeah,
you know, somebody comes to your house and be like, yeah, you ain't got this one.
But did you think about this? There's undoubtedly, am I right or wrong about this? Undoubtedly, when you buy that piece of hardware, there's going to be a subscription fee, right?
I'm sure, but Sully brought this up backstage. Yeah. Like, it's going to be like car companies. There's going to be a Mercedes-Benz version.
Yeah,
exactly. The luxury version. There's going to be the Kia version or whatever. Like, you know,
shout out Kia, we love you. We need sponsors.
Yeah, and then there'll be a Lamborghini and a Ferrari version. Like, there's going to be all these kind of different.
Does that just mean it's a more attractive human? What does that mean?
But hold on, but that's what I was asking earlier. Because if you have patent technology that you actually need to be competitive, but you can't use it, will there be, said different versions like that?
Yeah,
like depending on who's like first to market.
Definitely.
You think okay, that's something I was thinking about. It's just like because it's
like smartphones.
It's when I was asking you about the smart cars, so to speak, and you were explaining to me like how there's no other vehicles that have full autonomous driving yet.
Well, there's a lot of competitors, but no one's close to Tesla's FSD.
Full self-driving.
Full self-driving, but it'll get to a certain point where it will be commoditized.
Okay.
Like Tesla will get there first, they will dominate.
Yeah.
And then at some point it'll be so good, the nines will just expand so much on safety, 99.99999%.
Yeah.
That a lot of other companies will be able to replicate it with AI, new AI models and stuff, and it'll be ubiquitous. And I'm guessing the same thing will happen with robots, but could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited about the Cadillac version of robots.
Yeah. Sully, what type of robot are you gonna buy? Like someone to take the groceries in and help around the house? I mean, you have a beautiful wife, beautiful family.
Yeah, man. I need an assistant, man.
Okay, so are you thinking
full circle? We were talking about that.
Yeah, I need an assistant.
You need like an entrepreneurial employee type of assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I need, what I'm saying, sit in on this meeting for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you need the physical body for that. You just need something to listen.
Well, I want to bring this up real quick because in this robotics world, there's two components. You have the hardware component, the actual robot, and then you have the AI component. And when ChatGPT came out and all these AI models, like when you talk to them, you see how smart they are. They're smarter than most of us. So just, it's not a one-to-one analog.
Sure.
Just imagine dropping that in these robots as a brain.
Yeah.
They can see, they can hear, they have all the knowledge in the world. So I feel like we have that almost solved. It's not fully solved, but it's pretty solved right now, the brain part of robotics. But the hard part is this hardware side. I think Musk has said a lot, like specifically the hands are extremely difficult to engineer. Like when God engineered our hands, it was the most prime engineering job in the world.
What's interesting about that is artists have always found drawing hands to be the most difficult, and drawing four fingers has always been easier.
Well, even
you've heard that, right?
Do we remember when AI first came out?
It's still weird. They always look mashed up and weird.
What is that about? It's so strange.
It makes sense because as an artist, we had whole classes just on drawing hands.
Yeah, and you went to an art school.
Yeah, and I went to our high school, definitely one of the artists that they had show off their artwork to convert other kids to come to our school and everything. And that was the biggest thing, learning how to draw hands properly.
Yeah. So
it makes sense for AI to kind of be a slow learner when it comes to that part because, so are humans.
Why is it that hands with 5 digits all of a sudden, both in art and robotics, create this problem?
Because you got to think about it. Every other body part. But
why is 4 fingers so easy for artists, but 5 fingers all of a sudden makes it I can't figure out how to draw this?
Well, it's the positioning. When you think about your head, you only got so many positions your head is going to be in. So many positions your arms are. But with your hands,
like Mickey Mouse and stuff have 3 or 4 fingers.
Listen, though, look at this. Your hands is all like this. So depending on what you're drawing, what the movement is at the time, but your hands is all over the place, man. It's very difficult to be like, why you're standing like this and their hands is like this,
But why is the delineation, the difference between a 4-fingered
less it's just less.
But I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a threshold. Like once you go past 4, all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't know how to draw this.
Well, no, don't overthink it. It's less.
I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, because it's less. 5 fingers. There's way more.
I understand that it's less.
Yeah, it's way more components. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just 4, you have less positions that the hand can be in.
Okay, but 3 fingers and 4 fingers are almost as easy to draw. But all of a sudden, when you go to 5, it breaks their brain.
3 fingers is easier to draw than 4 fingers.
Are you a big 3-finger guy?
No. But 3 fingers is easier to draw.
I'm not an adult. Go ahead.
3 fingers is easier to draw than 4 fingers, and 4 fingers is easier to draw than 5 fingers.
Whatever it is, apparently, like just the engineering behind the human hand is like an incredible feat of nature or God.
It's called evolution.
Well, some people call it God, some people call it evolution. We probably have a whole episode about that.
We'll get there. Maybe not tonight.
I think Musk has claimed that they have the most advanced hand and digit technology, but I think some of the other competitors, like Figure, I think his name is Brett Adcock. He's got a really good.
What was his name again?
Brett Adcock. He's got a good following on X.
Okay.
And
shout out.
Neo too is another one, and I think they're all kind of working on, like AI technologies. I think their technologies are converging where they look pretty similar, but I think kind of the hand has been a critical component of their development. But the timeline on the robotics thing is super interesting to me, because there's lots of debate on that. Like, when are these things ubiquitous? When are they in the households? When are they actually useful is the real question.
Well, they got a big hurdle to come to get over, like we actually got to want it. We're tech guys. We want them. But there's a huge part of our population that's anti-AI.
Sure.
Even though they're asking ChatGPT all type of questions every day.
Have some good friends just like that.
AI, why don't I like you? You know what I'm saying? Like they're still using
there's a billion people.
Shout out TJ.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but Sully, yes, what you just said is so true. But when these things start folding laundry, start cooking, start taking out the trash, people are going to adopt this technology quickly. Like the question is just like, when will it get there?
How much would you pay for a robot to fold your laundry and take your groceries in and walk the dog, though? Well, this is a real question. What is the retail price, if you had to guess, Justin and Sully and the audience member? If it's literally our robot, like help around the house, how much are you willing to pay?
I think
for real.
There's estimates. I think Musk has said around 20K, so they're trying to get
20K.
But
I feel like
a car.
But it probably will be priced out for a lot of people. But you'll probably be able to rent these things for $200 a month.
But this is what Tesla did when they came out the line. They were expensive and they came down. Go ahead, Sully.
I don't think that 20 will be priced out, because I think if you stay in that car range,
most a lot of American households have cars. You're right.
Yeah, a lot of people will finance it. You know what I'm saying?
This is
and call it one. Get them. It's got to be able to do a little bit more than that, but which I believe, it will be able
100%.
to, because it'll.
You'll be talking to it with AI. Like
it'll be connected to your devices. You know what I mean? And
hey, Alexa, take
you could
out
probably
the
call
trash.
it.
Always thought
you could
about
have
this,
it at
though.
the house and be like, and call it and be like, hey, grab these papers out of my, desk downstairs and put them up here.
Go get the mail, open the mail, or tell me if there's anything in there.
Scan these items and upload them to my Google Drive. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like when you can have physical tasks, because right now you can have digital tasks done like that with Codex.
Well, can't you just be like, give me it's not gonna be Alexa, but like, hey Alexa, hey robot, hey Optimus, turn off. Go stand in the corner.
Another thing though, you know what I'm saying? Because like I just told Double O behind the scenes, I said I told my ChatGPT,
I'm Double O for the new viewers.
Stop writing me emojis. And it stopped.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it'd be something like that. I noticed because I seen his and I forgot that it used to do all these emojis in the thing. And I was like, I don't want to see all these emojis.
With emojis, bro?
Man, I don't want to see a bunch of emojis.
You're not fuck with emojis for sure.
Whoa, don't speak for me.
Hey, I mean, that's just me. I don't want to see a bunch of emojis, man.
But you guys are both right. Like we talked about in the AI world, how they're, I always forget how to pronounce it. It's like sycophant.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that how you say it?
I'm not sure. I don't.
How do you say it, Ollie?
No, I don't know. It's giving me memories of what you said last time. the word that you.
Yeah, I butcher some words from time to time.
That's fine. I'm way worse.
These
than
AI
yours.
models, I forget the word, sycophant or something. They're highly agreeable, and like the robots will probably be the same way. Like you said, hey, excuse me, actually never come into my room again, knock or something like that, and it'll happily oblige. You'll say yes. There's some videos of China robots that show these hyper realistic skins and textures, but I've just seen them on the internet. I haven't seen them in person, but it just feels like that's a long ways away to you're basically saying recreate the human.
Only thing I say is I feel like we're at a rapid growing phase right now. Where stuff that we would feel like it's something should take 10 years is going to take 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think 5 years from now looks drastically different than we think it's going to look.
Yeah, things are moving at an exponential pace, but in true Musk fashion, like these are the biggest and most challenging problems and technology that he's chasing, like rockets and then human-like robots and all. It's like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like there's such grand ambitions that it's going to take time. Sully, maybe you're right. Maybe we're advancing so fast it's quick, but my money is that humanoid robots are 10 years away from being very valuable for us.
In the next 5 years, we're going to get a version of robots in the home. You know what I'm saying? That's just like we see the annoying ones at Quick Trip.
That's how full self-driving was. There was a version of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is kind of good, but like, I need to make sure I'm taking over and watching this. And then it kept kind of getting better and better. And then there was a step change. And it's like, this thing can drive for hours at a time, you know?
I feel like it has to be like that because the biggest thing, again, is people gotta want it in their home. You get what I'm saying?
They will. Now, when it creates value, they will. So
no, I agree with that, but it does have to be a slowly but sure. Like, it's gotta kind of creep into it, and then
that's how it'll play out. And the full self-driving timeline was about 10 years.
Yeah.
Before it got good. And so there will be enough early adopters for robots, tech people with money that are spending $50K, $100K in their home, just like with Teslas and FSD. And then it'll get better and better and better. And then all of a sudden it'll be so good and it'll be for the masses. You know?
I feel like there's going to be a version 5 years from now because people are already using agents.
Oh, you're right. There will be a version 5 years.
There'll be a version we'll have them. You know what I'm saying? Because we not only want to be at a text and say, give me these documents digitally, but hey, go grab this, do this, so on and so
forth. Let's dive straight back into the Nocturnal. Again, 6th episode, only the 2nd available. We randomly went live tonight. We like it. We'll probably do a whole lot more of this. On my right, for the noobs, Justin, a CEO of who it was again? Tell us again.
Man, you've been ripping me up all night. This is like the 5th time. I worked at Google. I worked on AI at Google.
Yeah. Okay. He's smart and he knows AI stuff. On my left, of course, is Sully4Q, also equivalently smart. He's an AI business owner, AI engineer. He's a recording artist. He owns real estate. He's a successful human. And if I had to pick between Justin and Sully,
what? No working, bro. We make a team is what we do.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
Sully and I got a lot in common, man.
Yeah,
that's,
I know.
One thing I've realized.
I really am dying to divert this conversation into some UFO or alien stuff, but I think we're on a good poll right now with the AI. And I know we had a few more topics lined up here, right, Sully?
Yeah, I mean, definitely wanted to get in cybersecurity.
Yeah, let's do that.
And what that's going to look like here in a second. I think fear is tough, man.
Ooh.
You know, fear is huge, and I think that fear sometimes takes away from, forward progress.
Okay.
So I think that, the general public is extremely terrified of what AI can become. They've seen our robot. They've seen a ton of sci-fi films that, terrifies them of what's to come.
Right.
And I think that, some is justified, but sometimes fear tightens things and puts so much red tape around things to where it's hard for forward progress. What do you think that the cybersecurity stuff looks like here in the future. Like, will we still be able to do a lot of the things we're able to do now with AI, or do you see it tighten it up more before it loosens back up?
The cybersecurity stuff is ramping up in a big way. Anthropic has a new model called Mythos that they haven't released to the public yet because it was too dangerous, which is probably true. I think that's going to be an ongoing trend with this kind of agentic coding world, but it's with a huge caveat that for all the AI cybersecurity bad guys, you're going to have your own AI good guy cybersecurity defender.
Okay.
I just think it's going to be the same old game of cat and mouse.
It does feel, though, to me, people are already having a hard time trusting AI as a consumer. And then, if those same people who distrust AI are having to then be like, I need the McAfee version of AI virus protection to probably pay a subscription, even if there's a free version regardless, then get the AI spam or virus protection. These people already don't like AI, and now they're like, the only way I can be a part of this new reality is to subscribe to one of 2 or 3 of the top dog AI, protectors.
Right.
They don't want to be in that to begin with, but maybe they're going to have to be forced to. Am I imagining a very unique reality, or are you seeing or hearing what I'm saying at all? Justin, Suli? It's going to be too mainstream to not have to just buy some protection because you don't know. Yeah, it's getting. Go ahead.
I think the spirit of that is bang on, but I think it's actually a little different of an angle.
I'm a little conspiratorial. Go ahead, Justin.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I would say that, like, if you're in the digital world in the future, you're using AI or have an AI agent.
Sure.
And part of that, a slice of that, is that AI agent is going to be your cybersecurity defender. So I think it's more like the mothership is you just have this incredible AI agent if you're doing anything digital in the digital space.
Well,
which is hilarious because you got AI protecting you from AI.
Right, exactly. That's exactly where I was going with it. What was like, you're going to have to use AI if you don't like AI to protect you from AI.
Exactly. It goes back to that question I asked earlier. AI, can you tell me why I don't like you?
Yeah, exactly.
That is so funny though. Like you said this earlier, Sully, like all these AI haters, it's like, okay, the data is not showing us that. The data is showing there's over 1 billion people using chat and AI. So it's like, I just don't buy into this. I think it's like just run by the media that everyone hates AI. I think there's people out there, but I don't think it's everyone.
No, a lot of people don't like it and they use it. That's why it's hilarious.
Yeah, but how does that make sense?
People don't make sense.
Yeah.
Just in general, like how you do one thing's how you do everything. Yeah. They have a lot of other things that don't make sense as well. You know what I'm saying?
Here are some of the things. The U.S.-China AI chip battle continues. AI is consuming huge amounts of energy. Google faces restrictions in the UK. It really does.
Shocking.
And of course, Amazon is adding more AI-powered robots. But on top of that, AI chip stocks remain volatile, but Europe wants less dependence on American and Chinese technology.
Well, I definitely want to go into the Amazon, bringing
Let's dive in.
Robots into the warehouses. It goes back to what we were saying. A lot of people getting replaced, man.
Yeah.
A lot, man. So gain new skill sets. You got to figure out what your place is in the new world. You know what I mean? You got to reinvent yourself. If you are, currently working at a warehouse, this would be the time to start picking up some new skill sets, see what else is out there for you, because just like, machinery kind of took a lot of jobs, years ago, man, I think robotics is going to kind of clean house when it comes to that, because more efficient, they don't, have to take sick days. They don't got to go on vacation. You don't have all these labor laws, restricting it. You don't
laws. That's a big one. I didn't think about that one.
You don't got to pay time and a half.
No HR.
You know what I'm saying? No HR.
Oh, Sully, I think, interestingly enough, I think the people in the warehouse are safer for the near future than white collar is. Like, I think the robots are going to be a little bit longer than accountants and lawyers and
Yeah, I agree
all these
with
other
that.
folks
Yeah.
are going to be replaced in the digital world by AI.
I think
agents.
people are already like calling their lawyer just a little bit less than they used to.
I think so too. So I think you're exactly right. And I don't think people realize that yet. Like, I think it's already happening. It's underway.
I think that people can see it. You know, I mean, I know
They can see it, but it's happening. It's underway.
it's happening rapidly fast. You know, I think they can feel it. You know what I mean? I think that the doctor visits are slowing down.
Yes.
You know, people are
as doctor
self-diagnosing.
queries are going up on AI.
Yeah, man.
Who's Dr. Query?
Query is a question.
Is that Dr.
Q&A.
Phil's brother?
Someone has to be here to throw out really bad jokes. I'm sorry.
Is that your role tonight, Ollie?
Yeah. But we were talking about a few other things earlier here a minute ago. One of which, I mean, the Amazon stuff, though, does kind of break some people's brains. Because when you start thinking about these warehouses where they already have, you know, so much automation in there, right?
Yeah, but it's about to go even more. And I think Uber is going to see this first before Amazon. Like Uber and Lyft have all these human drivers.
Yes.
We were just talking about earlier how, like, if you get a Tesla now with full self-driving, it'll drive you literally for hours, sometimes days. So that technology is here right now. Uber and Lyft have an extreme economic interest in replacing their human drivers because it's the most expensive part. So that comes first. And then to Sully's point, like, yes, when these robots are out, like, Amazon is going to replace all those human workers with robots.
Yeah, I mean, and it's no way against it. Now, question, are there going to be more human rights and things that come into place where you got to have X amount of human workers for your company?
That goes into legislation, politics.
You get what I'm saying?
Well,
is that what's next? It's like you got to have, you know, at least a certain percentage of humans to work at your company.
That's a really smart idea. I hadn't thought about that.
That probably will come.
I think that's going to be a thing. You know what I mean? Because.
But what are they gonna do, man? They're gonna sit around and fucking.
It's like
tie their shoes.
All right,
you know, us entrepreneurs would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Honestly, like, it doesn't necessarily make. And I think sometimes it's challenging if you have a tough, like a challenging road to get to where you are as an entrepreneur. You tend to have less sympathy or empathy for someone. It's like, just go figure it out. That's how you kind of feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to hire the more efficient workers. You go and figure it out, just like I had to do. You know, that's kind of how you feel. But you also have to remember, you know what I'm saying, playing devil's advocate with yourself, you have to remember that you have a unique set of skills.
Yeah, not everyone has.
That not everyone has. So what are they going to do if they don't be able to work these jobs? They can't just pick up some of the things that we've been able to pick up and be successful at it. You get what I'm saying? So if there's no universal income happening, what are they going to do to provide for their families?
Sure.
You have to think of it that way, even if it's challenging. So I think that stuff would come into play, because you can't, you know, be so self-centered that you're not looking at the big picture, understanding how it's affecting people that may not have the same skill sets as you.
It is going to be crazy, Sully, to your point a minute ago. Will there be a day here soon where humans and AI/robots are competing for the same jobs? Like, where you know, managers or business owners have to be like, well, technically, yeah, you're a little bit more human, but this robot over here, you know, it's never going to be late, and it's going to be 50 times more, you know, efficient.
I don't think it's a competition. I think it will have to be like, to have your business license, you know what I'm saying? To stay in business, you have to have X amount of human workers. You have to have this, because if it's not that, it's a clear choice.
Right.
It's a clear choice, because when it malfunctions, you fix it.
Yeah, like, so you have to be some type of rule.
It's down
cheaper, it's better, it's faster, it's more efficient.
It's down for hours, not on vacation for you know what I'm saying?
Or paternity leave, or maternity leave.
Yeah, exactly.
So this means that these companies, I'm assuming all these these robots are still going to have batteries, so they're all powered by batteries.
Yes, sir.
So they all have to charge. Whether or not that means
Which
they
is
charge,
another Musk product.
whether or not that means they have a 24-hour battery or a 10-month battery, and it's it's only going to scale upwards, obviously here quickly. But I mean, at some point,
this brings up the
then you
whole
just
thing. Electricity is gonna.
That's where I was going with it.
It's gonna be
That's
crazy.
where I was going with it.
I mean, we're talking about powering AI, powering robotics, all
electricity. The demand is
going to be through the roof.
Yeah, it's all
And whoever solves that problem, man,
well,
is out of here.
hey, spoiler alert, China. They're solving that problem. The U.S. is lagging in a big way.
Spoiler alert, nuclear is still very clean.
Yeah, but that's a big... We're not making the investments right now that we should be. The U.S. isn't, and China is on all fronts.
Well, the other thing is, and this is leaning back into Musk and some of the other space entrepreneurs, put solar panels in space. They are dramatically more efficient. I mean, it doesn't take a brainiac to understand that, because there's no atmosphere for it to go through, and you have infinite landscape and real estate. It's like,
I think
put that stuff in space.
Energy from space down to Earth, though. Like, you can collect the sun power in space.
We can send it. And this was actually a technology devised originally by the one and only Nikola Tesla, one of my heroes, as a Serbian American immigrant. He invented so many things. We love you, Nikola Tesla. This guy, in my opinion, was probably a notch above even Elon Musk in terms of being a man out of time. But it just happened, in my opinion, that he happened to have been born and lived during that time where there's only so much you can do with mere copper wire and like really rudimentary tools and technology. If he would have been born today, he may have been like Elon Musk times 2, but who knows?
I
think Tesla's tuning in right now. He's in the chat right now, but go ahead.
The AI Tesla?
I mean,
the AI
Nikolai
Tesla, yeah.
I'm
not letting you trick me again.
I did not lie before. I did not lie. I did not lie.
Right?
I did not lie.
That's crazy, bro.
I did not lie.
I mean,
apparently we've had some high-profile guests.
I only seen one comment in his mind.
Dana White was also in here earlier.
In the chat?
Randomly, yeah.
What did he say?
He said, you need to keep your sunglasses on.
All right, so...
That's trolling, bro.
All right, so we're pretending.
Yeah, pretending. I think we should wrap soon, but what do you guys think?
Wrap?
Yeah.
Wrap up? Or like actually...
Wrap the episode.
Like wrap?
I feel like we're dragging it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree.
Yeah, we're dragging
shout out.
And I'm out of Mountain Dew.
Oh.
That's the real reason, yeah.
Wow, yeah. Hey, it's been a phenomenal episode of Nocturnal. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is brand new, very experimental, very pilot episode-ish. We're working out a few kinks, but we had a great time. We hope you did too. On my right is, again, the one and only Justin, former CEO. No, not CEO. What was it again? Product head of Google's AI.
Still not right.
Yeah, or something like that. And on my left is the one and only, you know him, I don't know, by Suli4Q, not Sushi4Q. He is a recording artist.
Should have never told him that.
A recording artist, a business owner, serial entrepreneur, owner of an AI startup, and much, much more. It's been a fantastic show. I'm Ollie Olsen. We'll be back soon. Good night.
Later.
Enjoy these shots of us walking out the stage as I run into the booth and hit stop recording.